Sprint Triathlon, Ragnar, Chicago Marathon, and the JFK 50. These are all races that I'm training for right now at the same time, and I've got a pretty big weekend of training. Right now it is Saturday, August 9th, 2025. At 5:50 a.m. I'm driving to do my first of 2 long runs this weekend, and then go to work, and then I'm moving. So I wanted to bring you guys along to show you guys what the training looks like during one of the hardest parts of training for all of these races at the same time. So I'm going to be at work in a couple minutes. That's where I'm starting my run, and I want to go over my pre, intra, and post-workout fuel. All right, so at work, and here I've got all my fuel for the morning. So first thing coming out of my lunchbox is my overnight oats. This is what I'm gonna have for breakfast after I run. I have my handheld water bottle here with 1 scoop of BPN's G&M Sport. In case I run out of that on my 19-mile run, I'll talk about that in a sec. I have a backup bottle of G&M Sport that I'll just refill into my handheld. And then if I am very hungry before I leave, because I'm not getting done until like 1 o'clock, I will have some leftover barbecue from last night. In my water bottle I've been sipping on all morning, I have a scoop of creatine and a scoop of electrolytes, also from BPN. And then also this morning I had a Roan Nutrition Gel, which is a 100 milligram gel with honey, lion's mane, and pink Himalayan sea salt. 100 milligrams of caffeine in that. I think it's like 60 or 70 calories. And I had that with about 2 or 3 protein pancakes. I'll throw the picture up in just a sec. So workouts last night and yesterday were pretty good. I had a max effort upper body day where I did bench press. Main sets, working sets were 4x3 at 88%, which right now is around 290. My all-time max on bench press is 305, so sitting just a little bit lower than that, which I'm fine with right now because I'm really trying to prioritize my cardio, my endurance, and my running performance. So that was in the morning. And in the afternoon, I hit a 1750-yard swim. So I am training for a sprint triathlon locally here in Connecticut, and the swim is an 800-meter swim. So I was able to do my first 800-meter swim in the pool last night, which felt decent. My time was 19:30. So, I mean, not the fastest swim in the world, but it's pretty good for me. I've never done formal swim lessons or was on a swim team or anything like that before, so feeling decent about the swim. And this morning I have a 19-mile marathon pace workout. For the Chicago Marathon, I have a pretty ambitious goal for myself of getting 2:45, which adds up to be a 6:15 minute per mile pace. And this is going to be my first marathon workout where I'm actually aiming for that marathon pace. The last couple of marathon pace workouts that I did, I was using my previous marathon time of 2:53, which that pace is a 6:37. So for today's workout, I'm gonna put it right here. I've got 1 mile as a warm-up. I've got 6 miles at my marathon pace. I've got a mile rest interval in between. I've got 6 more miles at my marathon pace, and then I'm doing a 4-mile cool down. 5-mile cool down. In my pocket here, I'm throwing in a BPN Go Gel. I'm wearing my new Nike Trail second Sunrise or something like that pants today. So I'm not bringing my normal waist belt. I just got a new waist belt because mine was all stapled up, literally fixed it with staples. I thought that'd be a great idea. All right, so what I'll do is, oh, hold on, before I do anything, I want to weigh myself and see what my starting weight is at for this morning. So with my shoes, hat, and all my running stuff on, I am 182.4. So based on how much weight I lose, I'm gonna be able to use that number and replenish my fluids and electrolytes a little bit more accurately than if I didn't know that number. So one more thing, speaking of electrolytes and fluid balance and refueling, I bought a couple of Gatorade sweat patches, which is what this is right here. It tells you how much electrolytes or how many electrolytes you lose when you run or just sweat in general. And I'm gonna be wearing it today. It is a very cool day outside. It's around 60 degrees. So I'm gonna be probably not sweating as much as I did the first time that I used it when I was, I think I was running in like 75 or 80 degree heat. So it's just a different way, or a more accurate way than just estimating, of how many electrolytes that you're losing so that you can refuel, especially for me because I've got another 19-mile run tomorrow, which I'll talk about later in the video. But yeah, just a cool thing that I thought I'd drop in. So what I'm doing here is I'm keeping my key fob to my car, but I'm leaving the keys to the gym in my car, leaving my backup water bottle in my car, and taking my handheld. Doing all that so I don't have to go into the gym to refuel, because I am on a little bit of a time crunch. I got to be back into work around 8:30 so I can eat, change, stop sweating before I actually have to do some work. All right, I am off, so I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. All right, I just finished my first set of 7 miles with the 1 warm up and then the 6 at marathon pace. I don't know what my average pace was for that whole set there, but for the first 3 miles, it was 6:30, 6:20, 6:10, and then it was fluctuating between 6 and 6:15 for the last 3 miles. So I'm pretty sure that I got it under 6:14 or 6:15 for the entire set. I have a little less than a mile to recover from that. I'm gonna take my shirt off because there's no reason that I need this on anymore. And I've got one more set of 7, so let's do it. All right, set number 2 complete. Again, not totally sure what my times were because I'm gonna have to check once I save my workout, but pretty confident that it was under that 6:15 again. Lowest mile, I think, was my last one at 6:04. So now we've got 5 cool down miles, and I'm gonna go over the stats of the whole workout when I get back home. Time to go into work, and I will talk to you guys after. All right, so the move is done. It was probably one of the easiest things that we could have done. Obviously, I'm back home. Everything that was done today was basically done by the movers, all the big stuff like our couch, our bed, some desks, and everything smaller, Kelsey and I did yesterday pretty much. So in the bathroom, we got all that stuff up basically in 1 or 2 trips. We did our closets and some other little stuff as well. we knew where everything was going to go because it's the exact same layout as our apartment was downstairs. And the biggest difference is that we are on the sunny side of the apartment. So now we get natural light in here, feels a little bit better. It's not so dark and damp, I guess, like I'm thinking like a cave, you know? But yeah, it's fantastic. And I want to go over what my run was like and go over some of those stats. So total stats for the run, 19 miles, total time was 2 hours and 12 minutes, average heart rate 158, elevation gain only 207 feet, which is purposely why I wanted to do it around work because I knew it was super flat. For the first working set, remember that I did a mile warm up. I did 6 miles at my marathon pace of 6:15, or at least that was the plan. And this is what happened for set 1 and set 2. So for the warm-up, I was a little bit faster than normal. My pace that I was shooting for was around an 8:03 or around an 8. And I was, I guess, feeling pretty good. I hit a 7:30 on that first warm-up mile. The first set of 6, really happy with this. I was able to hit 6:13. So 6:13 for the entire set. And what that looked like was a 6:30, 6:20, 6:10, 6:13, 5:59, and then a 6:06. So overall, really good across the board. I am personally better at pacing myself when I start a little bit slower. I have a really good kick, or a pretty good kick, I should say, towards the end of those sets. So that's what I was aiming for there, and it ended up working really well for me. In between, so for that recovery mile, again, the pace was around 8 minutes, ended up hitting 8:24, so I was within that range. And then the second working set, the second set of 6. Again, I'm pretty happy with this. I was able to hit a 6:15. So 6:13 for the first one and 6:15 for the second one. The second one looked like this. I tried my best, my very best, to try to mimic the first set. First mile for the second set was 6:30, then 6:20, then 6:12, 6:12, 6:12, lastly finishing with 6:04. My recovery miles after that, I did 5 recovery miles at an average pace of 8:18, and those miles looked like this: 8:55, 8:24, 8:01, 7:57, and 8:12. So as the recovery went on, I was feeling a little bit better, able to push it with a relatively low heart rate as well. My max heart rate was up to 177. And, oh no, I'm sorry. My max heart rate was up to 182. My recovery heart rate got all the way down to 147 during that final mile. Good morning. Got 18 miles on the docket today. Currently about 18 and a half in. Legs are feeling all right compared to yesterday's workout. I was able to hydrate, refuel, get plenty of electrolytes in, and roll out a little bit this morning. So 18 should be feeling pretty doable. About 7:45, and I've got a couple other sessions later in the day. So that's what's going on, and I'll talk to you guys later. Shout out to my legs for always supporting me. 18 miles done today, 19 yesterday, 37 in the last 2 days, and I've got 6 easy miles tomorrow too. Chicago Marathon, JFK 50, I'm coming for you. All right, so Kelsey and I just ran a bunch of errands, and now we are back. My 18-mile run was successful. No problems there. I think my average pace was around a 8:11, so all is good. Right now we're just making some food, and I am gonna show you guys my go-to protein cereal recipe that I've been doing. It's Life cereal, Fairlife milk, protein from BPN, and that's it. And it is absolutely out of this world. There she is. Isn't she a beauty? And we are back from swimming and our triathlon practice. Unfortunately, the only video I got was this one right here. And I know it's literally only 3 seconds long. And of course, I forgot to take any other videos. But what we did was we parked at a place near the beach. We biked to the beach. It was probably about a mile. I didn't track it. At the beach, we did almost a 500-yard swim. This was our first open water swim practice. Went all right. We did about 100 back and forth, a little bit more, plus or minus. And we took our time. It was really chill. We were in water, maybe like 4.5, maybe 5 feet. And everything was pretty good. And then we did about a 3.5 mile bike ride. And that was it. So we also just ate dinner. We had takeout from this Peruvian restaurant in our neighborhood that we absolutely love. We cannot get enough of that place. I feel like it's like every other week we rotate between that and the barbecue, and on some special weekends like this one, I got both. So I just want to leave off with one final thing to note, that I believe how you do one thing is how you do everything. For me, this means that every aspect of my life should be a reflection on my true character. This is important and can be seen from my training and how dedicated and serious I am about my training, but also to how I act around my family, how I talk to and respect Kelsey, how the little things that I do on a daily basis add up to be the accumulation of who I am. When I was in middle school, we had this saying on the wall, and it said, character is who you are and what you do when no one is looking. And that's exactly what I'm trying to get at with this. If you don't respect who you are, you're not going to be making the correct choices to push yourself in the direction that you want to go, and you won't be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve. The little decisions that you make each and every day that go against what you truly believe to be your character and your personality are destroying your confidence. It is taking away so much from your life and obviously from the goals that you want to achieve. So if you have a big goal, which I always recommend you set a big, scary goal out in front of you, you always, in every action that you take, do your best to reflect how you think you should be acting. Another example of this is pretty simply putting your shopping cart away at the grocery store. That's a big pet peeve of mine and a lot of other people. Making your bed, doing that little task each and every day proves to yourself that you can do the boring and the mundane, because that's where the actual results come from. Putting your dishes away into the dishwasher instead of just leaving them in the sink to soak, another thing that is a pet peeve of mine. And not negotiating with yourself when it is time to come and train. These things are just examples of what I'm trying to get at. And if you're able to do these small things each and every day, that will compound. And those small acts, like I said before, literally define who you are and what your character is. So
the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And I really want this to be drilled into not just my head, but everybody's heads, because most people are not living up to their own expectations, and they're definitely not living up to what they're actually truly capable of. And I want to be the voice to tell you that you can accomplish way more than you think you can. You just got to put in a little bit extra work, and you got to be the person that you think you should be. So with that being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Talk to you in the next one. Peace.